I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you another battle of the TDL, the Technician Dream League. This week we are taking on Tommy, one of a good friend of mine, and this is week 8. We are near the end of the season. The Raptors will still try to pick up some more W's just to finish off the season as strong as we can. But I believe we do have enough wins with differential to clinch playoffs at this point. It's not guaranteed yet. Anyways, let's just hop into the battle, shall we? So over here we do see that at team preview he did bring all his electric immunities for my Tapu Koko, so my dual electric core is not going to be doing as well. However, I do have that Terravolt ability on the Kieran Black along with the really strong nuke VIA Electrum Z, so especially with my Terravolt ability, I can go through Thunderous Volt Absorb, so that's something to note. So over here, I'm just going to start off the battle as I initially planned, leading with my Tapu Koko as I am packing a U-turn. The Alolan Ductrio is actually somewhat of a little bit problematic for Koko, simply because it's dual stab. One of them is immune to electric and the other one resists my fairy typing. It is something that I was wary of before, but I didn't really think he would bring it, simply because he never brought it for, I guess, all his past games. But it does have a really good matchup against my team. So over here, as I lead with my Koko, he's just gonna go with his Ductrio. I actually didn't go for the U-turn here, as I don't wanna. I'm not sure what the Ductrio wants to do, and I don't want my Koko to take additional damage. It can be scarfed as well, simply because my Koko actually doesn't outspeed the Ductrio if he's scarfed, because I have a max HP and max speed. I did mention that in my team builder, so if you guys want to check it out, you can see it. See the link in the description below. I will leave the link there. I'm just gonna hard switch into my gun near the Celesteela, as I know that this thing can't do anything against me, as he's just gonna set up his rocks and switch out into his Stoutland. On the following turn, as I go for Leech Seed, it's just my better play, as I don't want to reveal any of my offensive moves yet. Over here, as I get the Leech Seed off, he's just gonna hard switch into his Thunderous. That's kind of risky as I go for the Protect. I just wanted to scout out what the Stoutland wants to do, whether if it's a Bandit variant or something along the lines. So over here on the following turn, I'm just gonna hard switch out into my Shinji the Electivire, as I do get a speed boost through my Motor Drive as he goes for the Thunderbolt, because the Electivire that I have here is actually a Assault Vest. It's basically a designated switch into the Thunderous T. As I go for the Rock Tomb here, he's actually just gonna switch out to his Cindy the Gastrodon. Or I mean, just the Gastrodon. I'm so used to calling Gastrodon Cindy. Anyways, so he's gonna see that I do have the Rock Tomb. Because I got the initial speed boost from his Thunderbolt, I do know that I outspeed at +1, since I did EV the Electivire to outspeed any member of his team, barring Scarfers, even the Mega Aerodactyl at +1. Anyways, so the Rock Tomb, as you can see, is gonna do literally no damage. I did a quick calc here. The Hidden Power Grass should do 50% if he's physically defensive pivot. It should be in range of 2-hit KO, because that's 7% prior damage. And I know that I live any hit he wants to go for, even an Earthquake. I take the Earth Power better because simply because I am AV. As you can see, he only did less than 40%, so I know that this is a more specially bulky variant, which does make sense to take on my Tapu Koko. So as he get off a Toxic on my Electivire, I just hard switch out into my Gunk near the Celesteela, as I still need the Electivire to take on the Thunderous T. And I don't think there's too much the Gastrodon can do back to me. So over here, I'm just gonna go for the obvious play. I believe I do go for the Leech Seed once again. Thankfully, I do land. It is a 90% accurate move. I haven't missed one so far. That's good. He just he pulled basically another double here into his Thunderous T. But this time I actually, instead of going for the protect, I actually predicted that and just gone for the Rock Slide, which is one of the moves that I was packing on the Celesteela to hit his flying types on his team. He has 3 flying types on his team. I did mention that in the team builder as well. So over here I'm just gonna go into Shinji my Electivire as he goes for another Thunderbolt. I do get off my Motor Drive once again. So over here I'm actually gonna pull a double, expecting him to go into one of these fat walls, just straight up into my Celesteela, as I know that I can handle those very well. I do go for the Leech Seed once again. So over here I was actually surprised I was faster, but as you can see he does go for the Roar. But that's actually more favorable for me, simply because I was gonna switch out anyways. There wasn't too much I can do too much I can do back to the style length with my set. So I actually get a good switch into my Electivire, so I was be able to get a little bit of health back with the Leech Seed. But over here he's actually gonna go into his Thunderous T. So before I didn't click any electric moves, so I just want to switch up my place a little bit. As you can see, he does get the Volt Absorb back, so that's kind of a little bit bad for me, as my teams are getting a little bit tripped down. So I am just gonna stay in and go for the Rock Tomb, as I do know that I live any head this Thunderous wants to go for. Maybe, yeah, probably even a Flynium. I don't think he gets any type of special Flynium, you know, because this is one of his Z captains, so it's possible that he busts out a Z move right here, but I wasn't willing to let any of my other members to take the Z move. Plus I was already in with my designated counter. So as you can see, as he goes for the hidden power, I assume is ice here. It only did 19%. I was being able to get off Rock Tomb and be able to get a special defense, get a crit. It didn't really matter, simply because it was gonna be a 2-hit KO anyways. So over here I'm actually gonna outspeed. I do stay in and just go for another Rock Tomb, I believe. Oh no, I actually went for the HP Grass, simply because it knocks out Thunderous from that range and it covers the Gastrodon switch in. As you can see, I do take he does go into the Gastrodon, but it didn't do all that much, simply because he's more specially defensive. So this is kind of bad, simply because he saved his Thunderous T while one of my designated answers to that thing is gone at this point, but it is relatively low, so I can start turning it out with most of my other members. As over here on the free switching, I'm just gonna go into my Hero in Black and get up a substitute as he goes for the Toxic. So I'm gonna have a sub up against this Gastrodon, which is pretty nice. So over here, I believe I do go for the Hone Claws. Oh no, I go for the Ice Beam and just try to get some chip damage on whatever comes in. As you can see, the style line actually took it very well, so it might be a fully specially defensive set with a Intimidate. So this is actually a misplay. I forgot that he had Roar, so I was trying to boost up with Hone Claws as he goes for the Roar, and as you can see, the Roar does go through substitute. I was forced into my gunk near the Celesteela. I got lucky once again with the Roar. It didn't end up backfiring because I was gonna go Celesteela anyways. As you can see, he actually busts out the Protect on his style length, just to try to get a little bit health back as I go for the Leech Seed. On the following turn, I think I just went for a double Leech Seed because there's no reason not to. This time he went into he went into his Salazzle, as that's the second offensive check he can make to cover the Celesteela. But since his Thunderous is pretty low, he was in range of Leech Seed, so that does make sense. As I go for the Protect, just to scout, I want to scout out what the Salazzle wants to do. But it does fail as he pulls out a double into his Aurora Mola. I'm like, okay, what's this thing gonna do to me? My Celesteela is mainly here to take hits from his physically offensive pressures and his defensive walls, right? And then as he busts out a Soak, okay, as I gone for the Leech Seed the turn that he gone for Soak, right? I was like, okay, the two moves that I have on this thing are Seed Bombs and Rock Slide. I don't benefit from Stab anyway. I was like, okay, I don't need to be a steel type or a flying type to take advantage of my attacks. I don't need the stab. So on the following turn, he actually burst out a toxic. Man, that got me so good. I could have, I should have seen that coming, as I believe it was Breeder Joe. He actually used a similar idea with his lantern earlier on this season, but it just didn't occur to me at that moment. So I actually let my Celesteela get toxic. So yeah, you don't see that very often, steel type getting toxic. As I actually went for a double leech seed simply because I thought he was gonna switch out. I wasn't expecting the toxic, obviously. So he's just gonna make the obvious switch into the Southland at this point. As I am toxic, I don't want to stay in. I made an offensive switch into Tapu Koko, try to force out the Alola Mola, but he did switch into his Southland same turn. I'm just gonna U-turn out as I don't want to stay in and click an electric move. As you can see, he actually stayed in, so he predicted that very well, knowing that there's no way I will go for electric move when he has 3 electric immunities on his team. I was forced into my Celesteela once again as he goes for the toxic and failed. So that's good on my part. I'm back to a steel type, but it's not gonna get rid of the toxic for me, as on the following turn he can just protect stall here a little bit as I am toxic with my Celesteela. That was my first mistake, letting my Celesteela getting toxic by his Top Gun fish. Anyways, as I do go for the double leech seed, wanting to get back a little bit more health as he switched into his Gastrodon. So over here I waited this entire game, not basically revealing that I have grass coverage on my Celesteela for the Gastrodon. I'm just gonna use the Seed Bomb and get the Oko on the Gastrodon from the range he was at. I do get a defensive beast boost over here, but it doesn't really matter as he can just go into one piece offensive pressure to either the Thunderous T or the Salazzle to force out my Celesteela. So over here I was actually forced into my Tapu Koko as my initial switch into the Thunderous is gone. But the good thing is, because he's levitating above the ground or a flying type, he doesn't actually get a boost from my electric terrain. And plus my Tapu Koko is actually max HP, that only did 33%, but along with the rocks damage, it really wrecks up. So over here on the following turn, I'm actually just gonna go for another U-turn. So the fact that he brought 3 electric immunity and one of them being Lowland Ductrio really hinders my ability or the way I played with my Tapu Koko. Every time I always go for a U-turn instead of going for electric move. But anyways, I do go into my tutorial key, the Kyurem Black, as I know that I take any hit and I will be able to get up a sub against this thing if he try to toxic me. As I do go for the sub right here. I thought about going for my Electrum Z over there, but it's a good thing that I didn't go for it, simply because he still have 2 of his electric immunity right there, and it's very possible he switched into his Dugtrio simply because it's not only immune to the electric move, my Fusion Bolt or Electric MZ, but it also resists my Dragon Stab, which I'm not packing this week. But anyways, it's just a better switch overall, as he still need a Alola Mola to handle my Mega Sharpedo. As I just go for the Ice Beam after he break the sub with my Earthquake. There's no point in switching right there, simply because Kyurem Black is gonna die to entry hazards the next time it comes in. So I just stay in and have him knock me out with Earthquake. Over here on the first switch, and I do go into my Salazzle once again and get off a Leech Seed for, I guess, the 4th or the 3rd time. Thankfully I landed again. I do go for the Protect right here. He does go for the Fire Blast simply because at this point, unlike the last time this situation occurred, I am toxic, so I won't be able to get up as much health. Basically I won't be able to stay in and play the long game, right? So over here I do go for another offensive switch into my Zygarde 10%, simply because I resist his dual stab, and from the way he's been playing, right, I think this Salazzle might be choiced in some way, and I don't see a Life Orb. So this is just a free opportunity for me to get off a huge hit. And I don't think he's gonna pack the HP Ice for me, simply because he should always switch on the Zygarde 10%, as I do have the extreme speed. So over here on this turn, I debated between Southern Arrows to hit whatever he decides to switch in for more damage, or go for the extreme speed, as I am choice banded, so I should be able to knock out the Salazzle from this range. But as he busts out the HP Ice and just be able to get the KO on my Zygarde 10%, as I go for the Banded Thousand Arrow, expecting him to switch. But like realistically, there's no reason for him not to switch right there, because he have such good switch into either Alola Mola or the Intimidate Stoutland, be able to handle my potential extreme speed, right? But good place on his part for staying in and go for the HP Ice for sure. It definitely caught me off guard because I was sort of behind at this point, so I had to make a play. That's why I went for the Banded Thousand Arrow over the extreme speed. But as you can see, it does put me on the back foot even more, simply because he does go for the HP Ice and knock out my Zygarde. On the following turn, as I go into my Mega Sharpedo on a free switch and just be able to threaten out the Salazzle with an Aqua Jet as he goes into Stoutland. I'm just gonna go back into my Gungnir Celesteela as he goes for a Toxic. That's not gonna work, as I am already Toxic again as a Celesteela. Anyways, he's just gonna be able to protect Stormy here once again. That is the more optimal play overall, simply because I am poisoned already. That damage is gonna rack up. Over here on the following turn, I'm actually gonna he's actually gonna stay in and just go for the return instead of switching. Over here, I made another play, try to predict he's switching into one of his offensive threats. Just go for the Rock Slide. However, as you can see, that's not going to do anything to the Stoutland as he just stayed in this time. That's another really good play on his part, because I think on all the previous turns, he always go into either Salazzle or Sandor's T to try to take advantage of my Celesteela. But I was trying to make a play right there, right? But the over prediction caused me, I guess, put me even behind it even more. But it is the better play on Tommy's end, just to try to stay in with the Stoutland and wear down my Celesteela, as there's no reason for him to risk one of these more offensive mons at this point of the game. So I'm just gonna stay in with my Celesteela simply because I don't have any good ways of recovery, as I know that he's just gonna be able to go for a protect that turn. And as my Celesteela goes down there, I just go into my Tapu Koko, and this time I actually clicked Thunderbolt for once. But as you can see, that actually did 43%. That's nothing. It's not even a 2-hit KO. I'm modest with max special attack. I was really surprised at the damage, but I believe that's the first electric move I clicked in this game with my Tapu Koko. Anyways, as he can just get off a Toxic on my Tapu Koko at this point, as he knows that he has more switches, or I guess he can just play the long game, as he does have more mons than me at this point. I was getting pretty desperate, so I just stay and click another Thunderbolt, as I know there's no way for me to win at this point. I was just trying to, and plus my Tapu Koko is Choice Lock, there's no reason for me to switch out. It's just gonna die to rocks anyways. So I'll just try to pick up the KO with my Sharpedo as he busts out the Gigavolt Havoc, just get the knockout on my Tapu Koko. On a free switching, I do go into my Shark here just to hope that he goes into his one of these walls right here, try to preserve the differential and get a potential poison on the poison jab. Just maybe clinch one or two more kills with my Mega Sharpedo near the end. As he actually busts out the Toxic once again. I swear he has Toxic on every single one of his mons. I'm sure the Salazzle has Toxic too, because he does get the ability Corrosion. So that's another way for him to Toxic my Celesteela, my Steel type. Anyways, I'm not sure if the Duckshiro gets Toxic. Anyways, if he does get Toxic, I'm sure he's gonna have Toxic on the Duckshiro too. He's just gonna go into his Alola Mola as I do get a crit with my Poison Jab, be able to knock out the Thunderous T. Just I guess claim one more kill with my Mega Sharpedo. As I do stay in regular once again, try to get a Poison Jab poison, and because I don't know if the Salazzo, oh, I guess I do know the Salazzo is not Scarf at this point, but I don't know if the Dugtrio is Scarfed or not. So I'm just gonna stay in and go for another poison jab, try to get a poison, but he goes for the protect just to stall me out of I guess poison turns. For the last turn I do go for the liquidation with the Mega Form, but that's not gonna matter. Oh well, not liquidation, poison jab. Anyways, so that's gonna be the end of the game. Tommy did play really well this game. He does manage to come out on top. So GG to Tommy for sure. And there's a couple mistakes I made throughout the match. However, he did prep really well with that Soak Toxic Alola Mola and be able to stay in with his Salazzo and go for the HP Ice on my Zygarde 10%. Those are two, I guess, very crucial plays that set me back a lot in this game. So yeah, GG once again to Tommy. Hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs. And hope you guys like the match. That's gonna be it from me. Hopefully the Raptors will be able to bounce back next week. This is Admin Crow here, signing off. See you in the next one. Goodbye, technicians.